We have Payton Talbott versus Nick Aguirre. Payton Talbott 6-0, 5-0 in his last five. He's coming off that decision victory over Reyes Cortez on the Contender Series. 25 years old. He is facing up against Nick Slick Aguirre, 7-1, 4-1 in his last five. He's coming off that decision loss against Dan Argueta. I believe he was coming in a short notice in that fight. Uh, he'll be the slightly older fighter here, 27, 25. And Payton Talbot actually will have a 1 inch height advantage, and I believe Nick will have a 4 inch reach advantage here, or 3.5 inch reach advantage. Right now, the odds, and these are some, man, this is some crazy odds. So Payton Talbot opened up at a minus 550, and now he's a minus 850. That's pretty crazy. So, yeah, a minus 850 right now for Payton Talbot. Uh, Gerard, yeah, I'll let you break down this fight first. What do you think about Talbot and Aguirre here?
Peyton Talbot, I think he's a lock. I think it makes sense why the odds went so high. I guess there is a little bit of hype, but he's not really that well known yet. I think the UFC is trying to make his stardom rise a little bit, and it might end up being like a spectacular fashion type of night for him against Aguirre. Um, Talbot, he kind of reminds me, his style kind of reminds me like a very raw Sean Strickland, like always coming forward in your face, insane gas tank. Like his last fight, I don't even think he was really breathing that heavy in the third round. And the other guy, Cortez, Tracy's brother, he was just breathing so hard. And then you look at Peyton, he's like hardly even breathing. So he has an insane gas tank for the type of pace he comes at you, just walking you down and mixing in a whole bunch of different strikes. Like his dynamic striking kind of reminds me of a very raw Adesanya type of style.
Sure.
So you have a mixture hybrid of a style of Sean Strickland pace and a Adesanya dynamic striking and kickboxing and stuff. And I seen in his last fight, his leg was caught up in the air, and then he did a flip to get out of it, a back flip,
Mhm.
and then continue standing up and getting the stand up, walking down Cortez. So he's probably has a spectacular future ahead of him. He's probably a rising star, still young. And Nick Aguirre, um, yeah, I'm just not sold on him. I'm not even sure how great of a grappler he is, although he did take Dan Argueta's back. But that could be just that Dan Argueta was getting too aggressive at times. But yeah, Peyton Talbot, I think he's all she wrote. I think he'll live up to what people are thinking about him. The minus 800, possibly a buy low. No, I'm just kidding. But I think down the line he'll have a lot of fans if he continues to get some dubs here. But yeah, yeah, I think he's a lock, but the odds are so wide that it goes against my betting principles. But yeah, I like Talbot.
So I'm assuming that you're not sticking his money line in a parlay
Not money line. Probably a finish.
for sure. Yeah. So the only ways that I would consider sticking people in a parlay at that price, if it was the case in point, was the Rebecca fight, right, against Roosevelt Roberts. That I think Rebecca
Mhm.
was like a minus 900, and I mean Rebecca, he fought a guy on short notice, multiple fights in the UFC, so you have proven like tape and just like proven record, right? So that's why I think it's a little wild that Peyton Talbot is a minus 850 right now, right? So you're telling me that Talbot is going to finish? Is he going to finish this guy pretty much in round one? Like, is that what's going to happen? Because like, I knew for the right Becky fight that he was probably going to like that he was going to finish that Roberts guy in round one.
Mhm.
I have my doubts on whether Peyton's going to finish this guy in round one. It might be like round two or something, maybe. Might even go decision for all I know. Payton is a good striker. He does have good pace and flashy strikes. Pumps out a extremely high volume. Likes to switch some stances as well. Really good movement, footwork, good takedown defense, and as you mentioned, good does a good job of kind of working his way back up. Right. Um, I do think that he does need to work on his grappling overall, though, but it is improving. That I think Cortez did take him down once, if I'm not mistaken, in that fight. But he did a good job of kind of working himself back up, and obviously just dominating the rest of the fight. I think that the price is just what it is, just because also I think they're factoring in that this Nick Aguirre guy probably not UFC caliber. I think that they got him on short notice against Dan Argueta, built him up, and now they're basically asking him again and say, hey, like, can you do us another solid of hyping up another prospect? So, when I do watch Nick, I mean, supposedly he's a grappler, but I think that he doesn't really even have that great of a grappling ability, no striking ability whatsoever. I just don't see what he does well in the UFC. So I'm pretty sure they're, like you mentioned, they're hyping this Payton guy up and trying to get him an easy dub and trying to move his career along. Um, Pick here is Payton by decision or KO, but I think I'm going to pass on this fight overall, and I just want to see, I want to see more of Payton before I trust him in a parlay at that price of like a minus 850. So yeah, let me watch him, and we'll see what he can do for us for the future, at least for me. So I'll watch the fight just to kind of see him for the future, but for now I'm passing on this fight.